meeting to order. I'm sitting in this chair for Christina, who is away, so please help me out if I may fumble any of these things. But first of all is this reading of public participation guidelines. We are using Zoom webinar for this meeting, which allows the public to participate in the meeting as an attendee. The chair can request that members of the public provide their names for purpose of keeping accurate minutes of the meeting. Attendees will join in listening mode, and we ask that everyone display their names correctly. Attendees can click the raise hand button if they wish to speak. The chair will call on those who have raised their hands in the order that they were raised. All questions should be directed to the chair. Please note that this meeting is being recorded. Please be aware that other people may be able to see you, and take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. Do we need a motion to open this meeting, or we know?
No,
motion?
you would probably say, I think, convening an open session, and then you look for a motion to go in to accept the agenda.
Okay, we are convening in open session. What's it, putting,
Going motion to accept the agenda.
accept the agenda as. Second, all in favor? Order of business is public comment. Staff announcements.
Yeah, so one quick thing I want to note is we are going to have to do roll call vote because Christina's online, so every motion will have to be a roll call
So
vote.
we didn't get a
Agenda.
vote, so we should redo that vote. And get Christina to.
Oh, to open the session?
We should.
A roll call then.
Accept
John?
agenda.
Axel? Neil? Mark, aye. Christina?
Aye.
Fantastic, thank you so much. Okay. So, for public comment and staff announcements, I want to recap a few things. We had a very successful opening at Cliff Beach, 31 Jefferson Avenue this past Saturday. It was fun. It was short, about an hour early morning. It was great. We chose an interesting time in an effort to attract people, but it can be so busy down there. So we wanted to stay out of everyone's way at the same time. We had some pastries and some coffee, and it was really wonderful. It was wonderful to see a lot of the commissioners there, and just appreciate that. We are continuing our walks with Dana. So again, if you want to sign up, feel free to reach out to Dana. She's still doing her weekly walks. I think she has 3 more weeks. And then last but not least, actually, and I'm hoping there's a recording of it, is right now, and actually at the same time, is the State of the Harbor at Great Harbor Yacht Club. And it is all about coastal resiliency this year. So might be an interesting thing to watch if it's recorded, which I hope it will be. So.
But not attend?
Well, it's unfortunately literally right now.
Oh, okay.
As we speak, it is happening. So none of us who are sitting here are going to attend, but I'm hoping that there will be a recording. We do have staff who are attending it. We could always provide an update if there's going to be one. So that's all of our
It's
announcements.
still $900 million.
Coastal resiliency?
Yeah, that was 2 years ago. No, 3 years ago, it was $900 million.
I would just like to add the wonderful press we got after the ribbon cutting. Then our island home brought the van down and dropped those people off, wheeled them down, put them on chairs. And I don't know what the number of hits is. It's enormous, in the hundreds that we got of the pictures of the smiles on their faces that they now have access to a beach because of what we did down there. So that was very moving to me.
Yeah, and that was on Facebook. So Facebook basically, our island home posted on Facebook that they had brought everyone down, which was fantastic.
Right.
So that was great.
So that's it. Any public comment?
I don't see any
Okay.
public comment.
Moving along, first person on the agenda will be West Sankaty Road, Field of Dreams. I don't know if someone can sit at the table for this, or
I think, yes, we should have some people sit at the table. I also think I want to bring up the plan.
We
have the latest one, right?
I do.
Okay.
This is
so
the
we have 2
latest
chairs
one.
at the table.
And I am going
3 chairs.
to,
3 chairs.
so 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to make sure that we're sharing this. Otherwise, I would pass off my seat. Please. want to make sure we're sharing, especially so Christina can see.
Julie, there is an extra chair if you'd like to sit at the table.
Thank you.
Okay, Christina, can you see the Field of Dreams plan?
Yes, I can. And just for the record, if everybody can state their names, thanks.
Julie Jordan, landscape designer.
Siobhan O'Mahony, Sconset Trust.
Julie Reddick Mead, Sconset Trust.
Great, thank you.
And we have no one else in the audience, Christina, so that's out of your view.
Thank you.
So I'm really thrilled that Julie, that's the Julies, and Siobhan were able to make it today to introduce the plan, for the Field of Dreams and really discuss where this came from and what their thoughts were. So I think there's a great opportunity to ask Julie to chime in.
I'll start. Siobhan contacted me to help them make a commuting space in the corner of West Sankaty and possibly connect a land bank asked accessible parking from West Sankaty. And this is kind of what happens when you bring a designer in, because I got my paper out and started sketching. And I don't know that I was paying very much attention to the ownership of all the different lots, but when I was sketching, this concept came to me as being a very nice way to add interest to the park, create ADA, and make it so that many more people could use it. And so my idea was this loop. It is just a conceptual idea. It really is in its very infantile stages. I would say the things that I think that it does is currently the park has basically only one native plant, which is Juniper virginiana, and everything else is invasive. And I know nobody likes to talk about the removal of large trees, so we're going to leave those in place. But I think one of the things that could be really nice here is to create a little habitat and on the outside pieces. And when I design, I like to think 2/3 for the birds, which it means kind of taking the outside edge and making a hedgerow that is supporting native plants and native insects and birds. So that's kind of how this ribbon sidewalk happened, because I think that it would keep the grass to be able to be maintained very well and also keep the natural plantings on the outside tidy. And I think it's very hard as a designer when you are confronted with the ADA rules to stop short of designing something that is fully accessible. So that's kind of how we got here. And I think I don't think I appreciated any of the history about, the two lots or what the plans for anybody has. But I would say as a designer, I feel confident that if this was a choice, that it would be good. But any or all pieces of this are also acceptable. And I think you could look at this as a conceptual idea and give feedback as to thoughts and feelings.
Alan, you seem to have your hand up.
No, I was just trying to figure out what.
Let me know if you want me to zoom
I can
in.
walk you through
Yeah,
my idea now that you have the
Please do.
history.
that would be fantastic.
Please do.
A lot of people play on this field. And I think the idea of it staying an open field that you can see is primary to the design brief. And you see the circle gathering space in the corner. That is literally the corner you see when you come into Sconset across from the fire station. So that would be all low meadow plantings, nothing higher than 18 to 24 inches. The entrances would be on New Sconset Street and West Sankaty, and the West Sankaty entrance would be in relationship to a possible future ADA parking spot that the land bank has been considering, which was how we got to this, because designers are messy and creative, and this is where we get. But my idea is that all these plants here would create a nice hedgerow to the abutting property and that you would be able to walk in either West Sankaty or New Sconset Street and not interfere in any playing, that you would be able to observe children playing, grandchildren, or what have you, and stay safely out of the way of play and be able to maintain turf grass in a manicured way without too much trouble because it's edged.
I think I'd like, do you mind if I add one more thing? I think the other thing that I would add is, one of the things that came up was incorporating the request of the Land Bank Commission to have ADA path connecting this entrance over to the other entrance over here. And then I think in the development, it sort of seemed logical or, an option, I suppose is the right way to put it, for Julie to add in kind of that loop feel, because, we see loops that are very popular at all times. So this was a nod to the commission's desire to have a accessible path around the outside. And then it kind of went from there. So
Can I, that was requested in the November 20.
yes.
You asked for that. I think one of the things that occurred to me when I saw Julie's design is, shouldn't the handicap have shade? Because that path would all be sun. So then Julie's adding this lower path would help people in a baby carriage or ADA, they could get to shade if the lower path was added.
Where did you say the AD parking was gonna be?
It's up near those two trees at the top. I think that's the planned spot for it. And even I did play around with how we could get it into the park. I think it would require removing 2 Norway maples, which are an invasive tree species. So it wouldn't bother me, but I know it's not a very popular thing. So I don't usually start off there cutting down trees. But you could have it interior. It does work, but you would have to remove 2 decent sized plants.
What material are you using for the path?
A brick is the most affordable ADA and easiest to maintain ADA surface, I think, and it's most appropriate for Sconset. That's what they use at the chapel. So, and that's all ADA as well.
Okay, so this is still conceptual. You haven't decided on brick or what we.
No, this is literally a designer.
Very draft.
So the ADA parking would be parallel to the road?
It is on the road side.
So,
On the road.
That's the idea.
But immediately adjacent to the path.
so can I back up on that one? We've been working with Drew Patnode from the DPW on that. And most recently, he suggested that he felt the ADA parking was a better fit for new size Sconset Street. We have not been able to get a final location from him as to the best location for that spot, but his preference was to have it on this street.
By the gate.
The only thing I'd point out on that is that that big gate in the middle is not going to be open. So if they
Right.
want it to be as close as possible, it's this lower gate in the bottom corner.
Okay.
Between those two.
Yeah, my plan shows it open, but I don't think it's meant to be.
We're not, no, that's just to be opened if they're for mowing and stuff. It's gonna be-
Okay, so I guess what I would say is the ADA parking space, in my opinion, is not finalized yet, the location, and the discussions are still ongoing to try and figure out what the best spot is for it.
Well, Julie, would your plan fit the ADA over there?
I mean, it could, but there is a grade issue on that side because the area, just inside the fence is higher than the roadside by about, I would guess, 1.5 feet. So there would need to be more ramping. It would be really easy on West Sankaty. So, and I think you can see that if you meet him out there.
Is Drew looking at inside the park on the New Street side?
No, we've just been talking about road edges with him, so,
It would be fine. You would just have to ramp it. And maybe then also you would have to maybe get rid of a couple of those bad trees.
right, I guess I just don't think it's settled. I think we will be able to have an ADA space here. I just think the exact location is unclear.
Either one would be fine.
Just leave us enough room if we have to move the playground up. Thank you from Codfish
I
Park.
designed that too. And I would say that that's a much bigger lot. It would be a truncated version, should you have to move it, because it is a huge playground. No matter what, whether with or without the brick path. I would say a brick path shouldn't stop you in 10 or 20 years from moving it because it's a brick path. It won't outfit.
Julie, can I ask, is this plan envision removing all the bamboo on the southerly side down there?
I mean, as a horticulturist and a landscape designer, I would say it is the neighborly and responsible thing to do. I mean, I do know the history of the land bank with the bamboo forest and the whole thing. But I would say in this instance, because it's popping up literally in the neighbor's yard and you can impale your foot on it, it is a dangerous plant and it is not that hard to get rid of with an excavator. So, I mean, and good constant maintenance and making it go away.
I seem to remember one neighbor liked it, one neighbor wants to get rid of it.
Right.
We got a price of, I think it was about $90,000 to get rid of the bamboo.
Wasn't that high?
So
30.
That was from Toscana to us.
this neighbor on over here would prefer that we remove it, and the abutter down here would prefer that we leave it. So her request is that we continue the split rail fence and simply mow down the bamboo, basically, and not necessarily provide additional screening. She's okay with having just a split rail fence. The neighbor back in this area likes the screening, wants it to stay, said, please don't get rid of the bamboo unless you guys have additional screening and a big plan to block that.
So I
This
can't.
would cover that.
I can't actually see, does that cover that?
It does
desert?
cover it, and these are all native plants, and they're all specified above what I call, and this is kind of a, technical term, but deer browse. So what I've been doing is I'm specifying plants that are higher than the deer browse that they eat, and then cover the bottom to 1/3 with plants they don't eat. So you make a native planting so that it's screened like nature does, right? So you're creating.
Your browsing is 6 feet?
4.5, 5. Yeah, right around there, yeah.
Do we have any estimates on the cost?
We are definitely not there. This is really literally directly off my sketch pad. So,
Looks pretty
It was
expensive.
first conversation coming to the commission, so.
I would say that the lion's share of the planting is on that back land bank property because it is mostly empty and it is the spot where the bamboo would need to be. On this other side, I just feel like you already have the trees and things. But it is all planted. And I mean, I think, I've been doing this a long time. I think the whole cost of the rehab in my mind for all 4 properties, I think I floated somewhere between $250 and $300 for brick walkway, plants, a whole 9 yards, everything done and said, and that's for all 4.
And the trust is really interested in being a full collaborative partner on this.
But that's just a guess. I don't even have any square footage, but I've been doing landscaping since I was 20.
So
Not very long.
Questions? Commissioners?
I have a question.
Okay, Christina.
Julie, what is the approximate footage from the property line to in the lower right-hand corner where there's all that vegetation? What's the approximate footage from the property line to the path?
Back of the bench would be probably around 15 feet. That would be my guess. And you might end up in a different iteration. I've played with versions where they get sucked back and there's less plants and more field. This is literally the first rendition. So, I mean, I think ideally to pull off screening and appropriate planting, you need 8 to 9 feet. That's what you
Okay.
need. And then the ADA path should be 4. And I think in that corner, I was very generous with some blueberry plants and, being artistic, but doesn't certainly need to be that deep.
Okay. So I need a lot more time to really think about this a lot. But I guess my first comment is, I know they're all native, but how manicured does it look versus native? And I mean, native plants can still be manicured. How natural does it look compared to manicured?
We did do a planting plan, right? And I would say there's some photos on it, I think. There are the pictures. I mean, I'm kind of a design wonk. I like native plants that behave, and I like masses of native plants that are looking like they're behaving, but it is still native. I think I would draw your attention to the third photo on the top, that one. So that would be like a cedar tree with the bayberry underneath so that the deer don't browse it. And then you can see that Rachel's beautiful meadow from 158 Orange would be the inspiration for the edges. And that's a very nice low meadow, pretty effortless in its existence, I would say. And then in the areas where you enter, what my thought was is to take ferns, native ferns, and just mass them so that it looks tidy and not messy, but wasn't a lot of maintenance.
Okay, thank
Those
you.
are native ferns.
And so speaking of maintenance, is irrigation required here?
Just for establishment. And part of the design brief, I think the Sconset Trust, you guys were thinking about a water, some sort of water on
New Street side.
New Street side.
Yeah.
So that was part of my design. That there would be water. But I wouldn't imagine that it would be running like a manicured landscape. It would be for establishment because labor is so expensive. That it's cheaper to put in a irrigation for its establishment.
Okay. Any other commissioners have any questions? Neil?
I sort of agree with Christina. I would need a lot more time to think about this. And also, question for Eleanor, at what point, sorry, I'm going to shoot you. At what point does procurement pick up its head?
No,
Right.
no.
I mean, if we're talking 250, 300, and let's say we're in for half, are we in procurement world?
Yes.
So it's just something I want to fully understand, before I raise my hand to vote for it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I would also like a lot more time and maybe a couple of commissioners.
Yeah, this just came into our packet 48 hours ago, so actually I haven't seen much of it either. Well, to that point, if any commissioner wishes to entertain a motion to table this so we can look at it further.
I make a motion to table it.
I would do second that.
If I can just add one thing from the November concept, the Pocket Park portion shrunk a great deal. So that got a lot smaller from what we.
That's the top corner?
Yeah, that's much smaller.
It really does kind of look like it represents a nice little small 3-bench gathering place, right, where people sit and have coffee and.
So we did take the feedback.
Okay.
you gave us.
No, actually, I like that corner. As opposed to what I'd heard earlier, so. Anyway, we have a motion and a second on the table by roll call. John? Neil?
Aye.
Alan? Aye. Christina?
Aye.
And the chair says aye. So we will take this under consideration and get back to you with our.
Thank you for that.
suggestions, correct?
Thank you for the
Thank
time.
you so much.
Next on the agenda. Thank you, thank you all for coming and Julie for the work you put into this
Yes,
and
sure.
Siobhan for the work you've done.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda, 8 Wesco Place, Lily Pond,
Okay,
contract for Horsel, which
yes.
was lengthy.
Right, so we have two actually that are completely separate. So one is a contract amendment for Horsley Witten, and this first contract amendment is basically looking at work that we had to add to the existing contract, which was in the total of $20,500. And it included additional renderings that we asked for. We needed a larger scale dewatering plan. And they provided some additional bid document support. And so this contract amendment is for our existing contract, asking to add $20,500.
I move so.
Second.
By roll call, Don?
Aye.
Neil,
Aye.
Alan? Aye. Christina?
Aye.
Chair says aye.
Very much. And then moving on to the next document, which requires a little bit more explanation. And it is basically a construction administration scope. And this is for a total of $327,675. Which is a large number, but I will tell you represents basically 18 months of construction administration. And so when you start looking through our construction administration contracts, it's comparable to the other ones that we have. This is
the staff in on this?
Staff is definitely in on this. I actually specifically asked for this, and I can tell you why, because this type of, I'll call this an OPM type, right, ours project manager type contract is built in to construction, like the construction that we're doing at 125 Somerset right now and 166 Hummock Pond Road. So we have these services that are basically required as a part of the procurement process. In this type of construction at Lily Pond, the project is very comparable in terms of, it's less, but it's a substantial project, both in terms of work and cost.
Keeps us safe.
And we feel like it's really important to add this layer in. So that's where that comes from.
I'm very comfortable if the staff are comfortable, and also I think Horsley Wooden has got a really good reputation, and have treated us very well over the years.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of.
Does that mean you'd like to make a motion?
I would like to make a motion to approve this.
Second.
By roll call, John?
Aye.
I had my hand up. I had my hand up.
I didn't see that, Christina.
Sorry,
Please,
Christina, yep.
carry on. You have the mic.
No, it's all in favor. I just wanted to point out what Neil did, but we've started using OPMs on all these construction projects, and it's critical for the staff and for us, and they've saved us so much money. And if you look at it, this is only 6% of the project, which is less than what most OPMs cost. So I'm in favor, but I just wanted to make note of that too.
You've done the math.
Thank you for pointing that out.
Yep.
It's really helpful.
Alan? Aye. Christina?
Aye.
Chair says aye. The end of Wesco Place?
That is the end of
Okay.
Western Place.
Then moves us on to a discussion for Tom Nevers bike path.
Yes, and I want to share my screen on this one as well. So let me just. Okay, I am going to be relying heavily tonight for this discussion, on the town website, which has an update on the Tom Nevers multi-use path. I've spoken with Mike Burns about this, as well as Tracy McDonald. And there's two reasons I want to update you tonight. One is because a few small things have changed. And the second thing is that there will be an ask coming to the commission, but we discussed it and decided that the best time to make the financial ask is after they have the bid in hand. And so we actually know what the cost is going to be. So at this point, the Tom Nevers multi-use path is on track to be completed before next summer.
Wow.
That's amazing.
It's impressive.
I don't, right? That is apparently the goal. I don't know when that means they're going to break ground or anything like that. There is an information session tomorrow night, which I will be attending at, here's the opportunities to engage. I will be attending, I don't know if they're down here. No, they're not. And it is both online and it is in person for Fairgrounds if anybody wants to come. And the pieces that have changed that are relevant to the land bank are on land bank property, which, let's see if I've got the right one. Nope, here I are. So you can see this is land bank land. We had requested a bit of a curve towards to our path, and we are going to have a boardwalk because of the topographic change on our property. What it became apparent basically that it's just easier if we keep it in the existing easement, which means there's going to be a little bit of a wiggle, but it's going to be relatively straight, because to not keep it in the existing easement means that we have to do all kinds of additional easements, which are challenging, and working with the town, they really want to expedite this. So we basically said, let's keep this in the existing easement. It's not going to have as much of an interesting curve, but it'll work. And then we will have a temporary construction easement. So that's a kind of a major design change. But I think it's going to be great no matter what. And it will just expedite the process, because creating easements and all of that would actually be really hard in this area.
Is that change, when you refer to that there's an ask coming to the commission, is that what the ask is?
Nope, so the ask is
Yes.
going to be for funding for the section that's on land bank property.
When you say boardwalk, bike path goes on boards?
There will be something that is basically, I'm gonna call it a bridge, but that's not really a great term for it because there's no water under it. But the land bank parcel has a bit of a dip in it. And so there's gonna be they debated going down and coming back up, but instead they're going to go across. So that's the one part that's
So
different.
is the ask that they're coming for money, is it a double ask? One, for us to help fund this thing, and then also for us to pay for a section that's on our property? Is a separate ask?
To the best of my knowledge right now, the ask will only be to pay for the portion of our property.
For the portion on our property?
Yes. So, and again, there's been a lot of discussion about numbers, and nobody wants to put a number out there right now until they actually have the bid in hand. So.
I'm totally in favor. I mean, Steve Cohen would have loved to have this thing.
That's for sure.
Yes.
And I don't have a problem with paying for our section. It's gonna be the most interesting bit on the bike path.
It is.
You know, I was driving up and down there today with a trailer, and there were kids on bikes, and I was driving very slowly, and I really wish there was a bike.
Right.
So I'm fully in favor of.
Rachel,
Yes, Christina.
I can't, for some reason, I can't raise my hand when it's sharing, but just what we're looking,
You just raise your hand.
just what we're looking at here, is the top one what it was gonna be and the bottom one is what it is gonna be, or,
No, these are just sequential sections.
okay. So this top one is ours and it's gonna stay within the easement and it's gonna have a little bit of a curve, but it's going to be more straight than we had talked about before.
Exactly.
Thank you. I'm fully in favor of this. And if whatever it takes to get it done faster, we don't want to be a roadblock to it.
No, we do not want to be roadblock to it. This is a very popular thing with the community right now. So is this just an update or do you need a vote?
No, it's just an update and to let you know that if they stay on track, that we will, they'll probably be coming to us sometime, late winter, early spring with an actual number requesting funding for the land bank parcel.
All right, well, we look forward to that. Moving along, long-range objectives, an update.
Let's see. So I think the biggest update is that Tom McShane is in Africa for the next 2 weeks. And so I don't know if we should have had long range objectives meetings without him. That's I think the biggest update.
I don't believe we should.
Exactly. So I think for the next 2 weeks, we will be canceling our long range objectives planning meeting, and that's
probably okay with you, Christina, because are you in Africa?
I am not in Africa. I'm around a lot of animals, but they're all one species.
Yep. Oh, all right, so that is.
So actually, then we have nothing to do on that. Then now, Susan, we moved on to transfer business.
Motion to approve the transfers.
Second. By roll call, John? Huh? Howard? By roll call, no, Neil.
Aye.
Alan. Aye. Christina.
Aye.
Need
Mark, aye.
one signature each. There's 3 new affordable, units that sold and 1 new first time home buyer. Of course.
Rachel, can you stop sharing for a sec to change it?
Can do that. Thank you, Christina.
Thank you. Thanks. I just want to see you guys, and I can't see you when you're like this little tiny box.
Well, you're always the person who reminds me anyway. So.
Is it recuse or what's the expression we use here?
To recuse or abstain.
Recuse is usually what we do, right?
Recuse, okay.
Recuse.
I'll be recusing from the one.
Just one of them.
I saw your name on there. While we're signing, something else or?
Motion to accept
There
the
you go. Thank you, John.
June
Second
22nd.
by Neil to accept the minutes. A roll call, John? Aye. Neil?
Aye.
Alan? Aye. Christina?
Aye.
Mark? Aye. So.
Accept the consent items as presented.
Second to that?
I would like to say I will be recusing from the cash disbursements part of the one.
Okay, so you are not seconding
I will
this?
not be voting.
Alan, I think. So.
I need a second on.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Consent.
yes.
Okay, by roll call, John?
Aye.
Alan?
Aye.
Christina?
Aye.
Aye. Consent items are accepted. Warrant authorization.
That should be the right there for you to for signatures.
There's
I
actually.
don't sign it, do I?
No, not yet.
There's 2 warrants tonight, this is the end of
And
the
that's what
fiscal
I
year.
meant.
Then we'll give it back to you.
I would sign one of them. The cash disbursements fiscal year.
Yeah, I think it's the fiscal year.
The other one.
You can go directly back to them. You.
I have one as well, which the commissioners. It's an easy one.
Is that the one?
This is the one I
I
don't
think,
sign.
yeah, I've never,
This
look
has-
at the first page.
Yeah. And this is the one I can.
Under N. Oh, that's when he does sign that.
This is the one I did.
Okay, so those are all signed. We're ready to move on?
Yeah.
Property use request.
These are all consent, right?
Yep,
Yep,
those are all consent items.
That's for executive.
We approve the consent.
Those are questions, right?
Is that good?
Yeah, we did.
Before we do that, we should go to commissioners' additional questions and concerns, so I think Neil has a question.
I have one question. I noticed with excitement that there was another bill for enlarging the driving range. And I know we're at 99.9999%. Are we almost there?
I sent it, all we're waiting for is a piece of paperwork. I sent an email last Thursday asking for it. We are going to, I will start sending emails daily. Because it should be, there's no reason to not have it in hand.
Because time, considerable amount of time has passed.
Yes, and it's just that they're busy. It's not anything other than that.
I'm quite happy to sign it.
It really is just that they're busy, and so understanding that it really needs to happen, I think is important.
Thank you.
No, good.
How we can up the ante.
Okay, so that would, everything we have on the agenda for the open meeting. We are entering executive session for the following purposes. Purpose 7, to approve executive session minutes. Purpose 3, to discuss strategy with respect to litigation and discussing it in open session may have a detrimental effect on the litigation position of the land bank. Purpose 6, to consider the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property. Discussions in open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the negotiating position of the land bank. All votes in executive session must be roll call. chair must also publicly announce open session shall reconvene or not reconvene at the conclusion of executive session, not re.
Not really.
Do I have a motion to move into executive session?
This,
Second, by roll call. John?
I.
Alan? Christina?
Aye.
Mark, aye.
Okay,
Okay, I'll see you in executive session.
yep, and thank you everyone for coming this evening.